It's John and Rachel, and we are jagging around today with our dear friend Carlos Carter. We may get him to do a little Boys to Men today too.
How many people know about the mission of the Urban League. We've all heard about it. We've seen it on the news. As a matter of fact, we just saw you on the news this week.
I'm like spam, I always say. I'm like positive spam. I'm everywhere, right?
So the teaser is Rachel knows how to get him to sing, which we will do at the end.
It's easy.
It's easy. Urban League is the largest civil rights and social service agency in southwestern PA. We've been around for 112 years nationally, but this affiliate has been here for 105 years. Our mission is to enable African Americans, and I say other marginalized communities, achieve economic self-reliance, parity, power, and civil rights. At the end of the day, we want people in positions to live their best lives, so that's done through our family support centers, where we connect families to opportunities to meet their needs for if they need food, connect to jobs, just really helping to strengthen families. We do things around health advocacy. We do things around home ownership, helping people pay their rent. I mentioned the story to you, Rachel, about the young lady who was experiencing domestic violence. And we helped to connect her to resources. And I was talking about her somewhere anonymously, and she said, I am that person. That just blew me away. But it's good to see that what actually happens and how your work impacts the lives of people around you. We focus on 4 distinct communities: the Hill District, parts of the Mon Valley, Homewood, and the North Side. And really just trying to move people from surviving to thriving with a greater focus on the Black community. And so connecting people to trade, school, whatever it is, but removing barriers in the process. If they need help with childcare, if they need help with food or whatever, things that, but we want to see people thriving. Where I said civil rights mean nothing if you can't buy a loaf of bread. And so we want people to have a significant piece of the American dream, because we believe everybody everybody wants a life that's meaningful to them, and so the Urban League, we were to help people to live a life that's meaningful.
You have this passion for wanting to help people. So as you're even explaining the mission, it is beyond what it originally was, right? We're seeing more need anymore.
Well, at the end of the day, it's still economic self-sufficiency. It's just like the needs are different now. They may have been more dire then, but when people migrated from the north to the south, they needed housing. Right. People still need housing today. They need jobs. They need that. They need training. And so a lot of same things are still there. The environment has changed in certain ways, but there's still a lot of people, Black people specifically, who are not where we need to be. Right. And so that's what I said. The mission's the same, but how we carry that out, the programs may be different, but the needs are still there.
The fact that some of the needs are still there, is that a failure of the process, or is that just that there are more?
Or how
higher
people,
population, they're more of everything.
Well, I'd say, people don't like to talk about this. There's still a systemic racism that does oppress people. There's the fact that in terms of housing, jobs, that it's more than just, your zip code does matter. It shouldn't. And so like those things still exist, although we see more virtual diversity in terms of seeing people on TV and things like that. And that's beautiful, right? Because growing up, I didn't see myself. So it's beautiful, but when you look in boardrooms in certain places, you still don't see certain folks. And so that's why economic justice is so important for me and us. I think it was important then, it's even more important now. No matter where you're from, you have dreams. You want your children to go to good schools. You want your children to do better than you. I think those are basic human needs to be loved that we all want. And so anyway, at the Urban League, we can make that happen for people.
We always say, you have to be willing to have the uncomfortable conversation. You have to feel uncomfortable. And so if you do feel uncomfortable, it's actually a good thing, because that means you're willing to make progress happen. So how can white people in general, if we're friends, you can have that conversation where you say,
I didn't know you were white.
Guys, I love it. I know. I haven't haven't done my usual routine, but how can we be helpful? How can other people, because you're right, we want to say everybody should help because they want to, but you're right, there is still this difference. And how do people help?
Well, I think one thing too is from, of course, I'm going to put a plug by becoming a member of the Urban League Greater Pittsburgh, right? ULPJHORG, becoming a member to support a mission. But I think white people help by first starting doing what you're actually asking, right? How can we support it? I think being allies, I think against discrimination, when you hear things being said, things being done, make sure you're not being silent, because when you're silent, you're complicit. And so not being silent, helping people, like you said, asking them. So if it's like connecting to job opportunities, a lot of times we think of, like people say, if you need a plumber, you ask for a plumber, you'll tell somebody it's like a referral thing, right? So with opportunities, like trying to be broader with the groups you ask for referrals to get people connected, but just to be intentional about speaking up against bias. And I think even challenging our own thoughts, because we all have bias. Even me as a black man, we all have bias, right? I have a good friend at the Y. He's very white. I love him, and I'm very black, right? But we can talk about anything. We don't have to agree, and that's what's about respecting each other's humanity and being willing to listen, right? I think the thinking of already have all the answers, that's very oppressive to anybody. I think people's fundamental need is to be heard, and so we don't realize it is oppressive when we don't hear people. We don't hear women, if we don't hear black people, if we don't hear LGBTQ people. Our ability to listen to each other validates each other's humanity, and that listening isn't just about listening, but having action and growth from that listening.
So, speaking of listening, now comes
John
the
didn't
fun
listen.
part.
He didn't get the pant memo. So.
Right. So, no, you guys are bookends. This is perfect. But speaking of listening,
there's your diversity.
We did a podcast with Carlos. We were in somebody's house at a fireplace tour, and somewhere along the way, somebody started talking about Boys to Men.
Me.
Carlos broke out into song, and all of the women melted.
Or me.
And whatever. So Carlos, this is the time for you to just let's
karaoke.
Let's
I'm doing Frank Sinatra. Here we go.
Do it.
Fly me to the moon, let me play among the stars. Let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words, hold my hand. In other words, baby, kiss me. Fill my heart with song. Let me sing forevermore.
That's enough.